Hello everyone, welcome back to the Maverick channel. Now, I'm scrapping the intro for today. I just want to get into the meat of this video. And first of all, of course, I cover crypto content. So for those that are new to this channel, I talk about crypto. I like talking about also technology in AI, machine learning, and other technology that's interesting. Why? Because when I look at that technology, I know there's going to be a connection with cryptocurrencies, with digital currencies, with crypto assets, digital assets, NFTs, the whole evolution of what we know as the metaverse right now. And we have huge companies that are forming up in this space. Now, the thing is, we're not investing in ideas that are forming out of nowhere. We're investing in humans, in people, in teams, their ability to hire talent to create what we want to see in this space. One of those people is CZ Binance. And I'm not going to talk a lot about him, but if you want to check out more information about CZ Binance, look out for all the interviews he's done and find out what his philosophy is. Now, before I move into this video, I wanted to start with this quote from CZ Binance himself. This was tweeted today, rather 10th of December, might have been, yeah. Anyways, try to improve yourself a tiny bit every day, learn something, change a small habit, try something new. If you do this every day, you will get lucky. So I'm going to leave that right there. That does not need any more explanation. Now, let's go into what I wanted to cover today. Rather, one of the side things I want to talk about today, but I'll go into the main issues later, or rather the main content later. IOTA set to launch decentralized smart contract platform to expand Web3 ecosystem. The Assembly mainnet, which is expected to launch in 2022, has pledged to distribute 70% of its native ASMB token supply to an array of community participants. IOTA has announced the release of decentralized layer 1 smart contract network Assembly and accompanying ASMB token in a bid to accelerate the expansion of smart contracts across a multitude of sectors, including decentralized finance and non-fungible tokens. I think this is one of those other articles that doesn't need more explanation. Of course, they have an infographic chart here which says initial token distribution. There will be the community decentralized autonomous organization. There will be early participants, 10%. IOTA Foundation 20%, ecosystem development 10%, IOTA stakers, community DAO. So IOTA is one of those projects that has been in the crypto space since either 2017 or earlier than that, and they've persistently built. Persistent, guys, persistence. Do not look at these new shiny things that come up and disappear. IOTA, persistence. They're still evolving in this space. This space evolves really fast. Now, the project that I'm going to talk about next is a project that I talk about a lot on this channel. And the reason why I talk about them a lot is because first, I'm interested in their technology. It's cutting edge technology. Someone has to build this technology, and they're the guys that were at the front line building this technology. It's based on the idea of multi-agent systems and having these software modules operating within and encapsulating data that is sovereign and owned by a specific entity that deployed that particular agent. So depending on whatever characteristics you want it to have. IOTA is one company that's partnered with them. I did not seek out this article because they partnered with them, but rather my point is there's certain companies that evolve as fast as the crypto space evolves. Maybe not as fast, but they recognize the importance of evolution, and IOTA is one of them. And I think we'll come back with a bang in the future. I'm not talking about price. I rarely talk about price on this channel, so you have to look for that elsewhere. But rather, I try to look at the technicalities and where these companies come from and where they're going. So that is the IOTA news for you. They're trying to embed themselves in the very important space of smart contracts, NFTs, and basically having smart contracts on their blockchain. Now, this is some of the article I wanted to look at. Launchit. So there's this company called Launchit. It completes first real estate sale on the Binance Smart Chain. Of course, those that watch this channel, the Ethereum network, I have nothing against it particularly, but it's just that it has really stopped the growth of this ecosystem. The technology is amazing. It's amazing. But we've seen the good and the bad and the ugly that can come from this decentralized technology by looking at other platforms like the Binance Smart Chain with their low fees. Though they're centralized, at least we're able to see what could come out of smart contracts and DeFi and all this stuff. Of course, the Ethereum network is extremely expensive, and that's why I'm saying that. Anyways, but moving on. So that's what I'm saying. Companies building on the Binance Smart Chain, they're not dumb. There's something they're looking at. So there was a first real estate sale or first real estate property on Launchit So this is a company launching on the Binance Smart Chain. And I'm not going to read this whole article, but essentially what it is, it's talking about fractionalized real estate ownership. So imagine owning a building in Manhattan, for example. I don't know, many people like using, okay, New York, London, wherever, some remote place in Africa with someone out there with knowledge in blockchain, or somewhere in South America, it doesn't matter. You can have fractionalized ownership of land, of buildings, because this is becoming more and more globalized, the world. So you have these platforms that are creating this opportunity to purchase tokens that represent your ownership in a certain real estate, and then you can earn yield of those tokens. That's impressive. So the company does everything, the renting and all that, maintenances, and you get a yield of the profits that are coming off this real estate. So that's an example of how this space is evolving. Now, the company that I always talk about is Fetch.AI. They're basically building an underlying ecosystem onto which you can use different algorithms, machine learning, artificial intelligence. I'm not just throwing these as buzzwords. These guys have actually been iterating and building. They have a goal. I can't go into the details of that right now because I've made so many videos about that. You can watch the very first video. It's in every description of every video that I make. You find a link in that description. You watch the very first video I made about Fetch if you don't want to watch all the others, and then you have a deeper understanding of why I like this ecosystem. Now, Mobix or Datarella, one of the companies they built a product, a real workable product. If you have access to a micro mobility instrument or device like a scooter that doesn't use a combustion engine, you can actually use an application by Mobix right now and earn rewards. Another way is to stake your FET tokens and earn rewards. This is a real world use cases of cryptocurrencies. Use case. So Mobix simply explains, this is a nice infographic, a micromobility marketplace providing users crypto related incentives for using micromobility services. So your stuff that doesn't use fuel, so internal combustion engines, basically stuff that doesn't use that. Somehow the app recognizes that you're using. It's interesting. Anyways, be a part of the sustainable mobility initiatives by participating in Mobix. You help reduce carbon net emissions. We need sustainable mobility and fewer cars. You earn crypto as incentives. You help position Mobix as a world first successful and established micromobility marketplace built on Fetch.AI. How can you get involved? Right now, Mobix tokens are earned only via Fetch.AI stake drop until December 20th. So you can participate in that, guys. Or you can also, that's basically staking. And then future upgrades include more options to earn Mobix without staking FET starting on December 20th. So we have these teams that are building products. Remember, we're investing in people and their ideas. If they fail, at least we know there's some people out there that tried. And that is the way I look at cryptocurrencies. All right. So I've also done a ton of videos about Mobix and you can check them out. I think they've already built a product. It's amazing. It's amazing, guys. So, we have this Twitter person is into Fetch. So he designed this really cool sketch of a car. I've talked about him. So this is another side view of this car and he's about to release a rear view. I just thought I'd point out something out there because I like community members that really participate in their ecosystems and help them grow. We have an article here. Next I want to talk about this Storm2.com. It's an article. It's a platform. It's a blog site. I checked. I think they came out around 2019. So they've been around, I guess, a year or so. So they're talking about 10 blockchain startups leading the way in 2022. There's other articles that were specifically comparing AI or even other, in their list, that Fetch.AI featuring Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other major players in this ecosystem, the likes of Solana and so on. So obviously here they mention startups specifically in the blockchain space. So we have CoinFarm, number 2 is Newfund. We have Fetch.AI. So guys, you can also look into these others. And on Coinbase, we have Chorus One. By the way, Fetch is listed on Coinbase as well. Gemini. We have some Circle. So these are big names. Chainalysis. These are big startups. You've had governments actually think of consulting people like Chainalysis for in-depth analysis of where different transactions go. We have OKCoin, Bitstamp. Some of these are exchange tokens. So this is not even with the big players like Ethereum, of which there are articles written in that category. And we have Fetch recognized as a startup that should be looked at. So that's impressive. So here we have an update, a tweet. Here's our recap for this week. Stay safe out there. Wishing everyone a great. So of course, you guys can come to Twitter, watch this video. I'll try and play it here. market. They're expanding into 4chan, Reddit. They're talking about different conferences that they're holding, that they're looking to hold, and there's different partnerships that they've had, expanding into different ecosystems, into different arenas, I should say. And we're going to look at some of those briefly. So that was an update. You can check it out on Twitter. So foundation delegations, Fetch.AI. So this is intended for decentralization, further decentralization of the Fed network. Those that are I don't think my listeners are new to crypto, but in case you're new, we have Bitcoin using things like proof of work. Then there's other consensus algorithms like proof of stake, and the other platforms that use maybe DAG, direct acyclic graph. There's proof of history, all tons of these things called the consensus algorithms that essentially their purpose is to help a blockchain to prevent what we call the double spend problem. So when you send a transaction, you cannot claim that you did not send it and send it again. So those consensus algorithms help with that. So we have a decentralization metrics. In other words, whoever owns in proof of work, whoever owns the most power can easily influence the network. In proof of stake, whoever owns the most tokens and they stake in them on the network, they can make serious decisions. So there could be a problem where you have one or a few players owning most of the stake. So Fetch.AI has been pushing for this to make sure there's a balance, at least between the 10 biggest validators on the network and other validators. And that it's continuing to really compress. They're really compressing that. There's some metrics they've released. I don't know if I opened one up. This is an article basically about this. And you can see here that first, like the top 10 validators own 23% on the network. And now with campaigns that have been pushing for months, we have 43%. We have, 10 of the validators own 76.8% voting power. And now we have that reduced to 56. And there was another new infographic that they released where we have this metric closer to 50-50. So I think that's really amazing for a network to actively push for decentralization. Many people are forgetting the importance of that. So we have there was another partnership, interesting partnership that Fetch.AI had. So here is an article where they're talking about supply chains, how COVID-19 has affected supply chains, how the world is becoming more globalized. There's a need for accurate metrics. So empowering sustainable supply chains, AI transparency, and real-time metrics. So one of the biggest blockchains out there, Chainlink, has these oracles that help to pull real price data so that you can keep track of that. Fetch.AI, its premise, the idea of the technology they're creating is to make smart contracts smarter. So in that way, it also helps to have real price metrics, real data metrics, created or monitored by actual artificial intelligence or computers or a consortium of all these agents communicating with each other and accepting that indeed these are the metrics, because they're pulling data from various places, but these agents that are based around the Fetch.AI technology have the ability to communicate with each other. So the point is, these agents will be perfect in terms of pulling real price data, whether in a virtual world or from the real world to virtual world or the other way around. So they partnered with a company called Liquid Chefs, which is based in London, which is one of the companies that's also looking to use the Fetch.AI agents for the purpose they want to achieve their goal. So our collaboration with Liquid Chefs uses Fetch.AI agent technology to create a fully transparent and autonomous supply chain. We are excited to be showcasing our work in collaboration with Liquid Chefs at the World Economic Forum in January 2022. And here we'll be highlighting how our digital agents are able to collect sustainability data across global supply chains. Guys, this is really important. It's not just bullish, it's important for the whole globe. So the solution sits within the convergence of AI, Internet of Things, and blockchain, and these combined technologies provide solutions for greater end-to-end traceability and real-time mitigation of supply chains. So digital supply chains integrated with blockchain and AI solutions provide data management, remove silos with dynamic real-time view of data that helps to gain better visibility internally and across supply chains. Fetch.AI, in line with COP26 and environmental regulations, is working to provide accurate sustainability data such as product origin, carbon emission, labor wages and hours, the state quality and price of the product as well. as the date and location of the transaction. So you have the date of the transaction, you have the location, you have so many metrics. You don't need to hire a separate team to do that, but all that is done internally by these agents that can communicate with each other within an environment known as the Open Economic Framework. So central to this are Fetch.AI's digital agents, which can be thought of as your digital twins representing and carrying out tasks for you. So in this instance, suppliers are represented by Fetch.AI's agents stroke digital twins within the supply chain, and these agents communicate autonomously with each other to collect sustainability data and enable greater decision making. So that's, in short, in brief, in a nutshell, that's what Fetch.AI does. Of course, guys, you can read more details about Fetch agents, but if you don't, you can look at a ton of videos that from them, from me, and from other community members, or join Telegram and all that. So we have other partnerships. Fetch.AI partners with esports team Immortals to drive crypto adoption. So I love the artwork, by the way. So when you look at this Immortals team, when you come to their Twitter, they're actually not small. They have 130,000 followers. So there's going to be a year-long campaign where this team is going to be dressed in Fetch outfits. They're going to get Fetch NFTs, and they're going to be gaming while representing the Fetch logo, the Fetch. So, I mean, it's a good iteration. It's a good foray into the gaming industry. Who knows? These guys, this team might become really big with the backing of Fetch.AI, and this will bring more eyes to the whole ecosystem, to an actual product that's building real-world use cases. So that is it about Immortals. There's some videos that they've created explaining more, a little bit more, the technical details of their collaboration, why it's there, and they seem to be really excited about it. So that's amazing. Continued partnerships in these ecosystems, important strategic partnerships is very important. So, of course, I opened up some more articles representing the artwork. I love the artwork. I think all the team members got their own sort of artwork, and in the future, it's going to turn into NFTs, and I imagine some of the t-shirts and the gear will be real gear. So this is pretty amazing as we see this evolution with AI and metaverses and all that and NFTs. And of course, you can view their Twitch channels. They've already done some live events featuring this. So that's pretty amazing. There's so many other partnerships and so many things that are going on in the Fetch.AI ecosystem. And why do I like looking at this product a lot? I'm looking at so many other products, but I like the evolution of this team. The crypto market is so broad, but I feel like when I follow these people, I get to learn a lot about what's happening elsewhere and so many other things in DeFi and basically governance, how to handle governance, marketing, and so on. So for me, it's a very good opportunity for me to learn the evolution of a company from its beginnings and to the point of where it succeeds or fails. Hopefully, of course, they succeed because it's amazing technology, and it's the type of technology that has to be built by someone out there, and that's why I'm paying attention to it. All right, guys, I hope you understood. I hope you learned something in this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, guys.